business. Let's go straight to James Creedon to let's have a retake on Emmanuel Macron's speech at the Sorbonne about Europe. Some people praising it. I thought there was some kind of recycled ideas, though. He's getting, you know, up about things that we've heard before.
That's right. I remember Nicolas Sarkozy speaking quite at length about a Europe at 2 speeds and all of this stuff, and you know the hardcore, the core states, and then perhaps states that wouldn't have quite all the same as. I'll start with this photo, Reuters, because it's just great. Basically, not sure we can see that yet.
Jupiter himself.
That's a great photo, isn't it? Nice angle, nice, you know, just the way in which the photo was taken when his arms were spread out.
A photographer with a good eye.
Excellent.
Fantastic stuff.
Very much like it. Anyway, it was about 30 minutes before that photo could even potentially be taken because there was a delay in his arriving, so people tweeting fascinating stuff there, empty stage. And Jean-Claude Juncker, Eurocrats, were out on Twitter giving a live commentary of the speech. A very European speech by my friend Emmanuel Macron. Europe needs courage, and thank you for your support for the work of the European institutions. The head of his cabinet was also tweeting, so you can see they were all busy in Jean-Claude Juncker's offices looking at the speech and responding to it. Emmanuel Macron is perfectly right to say a strong common currency is at the heart of a strong European Union. What else? This is a German MP, you'll know by the name of Turkish origin, and he is saying that the future of his country, Germany, resides in a strong, united Europe, and that there is much need really for strong cooperation with Paris. So you can see a whole range of comments like that, Mark. This is how you give a speech on Europe, whether you agree or not. Macron, Europe has ideas and vision versus Florence speech. That was a reference to Theresa May's speech in Florence, which, of course, wasn't. It's not the same ideas or the same vision.
Theresa May sort of condemning, saying people didn't feel at home in Europe. I mean, you know, speak for yourself, Theresa May. You know, there are lots of people who feel very much at home in Europe and disagree with you. And she campaigned against Brexit. You know, she didn't want to leave the EU, did she?
Let me switch ahead to this, because as we're on that topic, Mark, Emmanuel Macron says Britain could return to a reformed and simplified EU. Now, that is, I think, a new idea. I haven't heard that one.
Well, we like our Macron as anything's possible. And that's really good, you know?
That's true. There we have that photo again, or some variation thereof. So, yes.
That is great, the photo, though, isn't it?
It's a brilliant photo. So, essentially, a multi-speed European Union, once it has undergone sweeping reforms, could potentially have a place for the... So, as if things aren't complicated enough, post-Brexit, what's the opposite of exit? Entry? Brentry.
Brentry.
Let's not go there.
I like it.
Let's not go there. It's complicated enough. Now, Thomas Wieder of Le Monde, Europe at several speeds. Isn't this what Angela Merkel mentioned in Malta in February? So the whole thing here is Macron taking the lead where Merkel has been somewhat weakened, but really, essentially, they're kind of on the same page. And this is another Le Monde journalist saying, Macron says that he is convinced that Merkel will respond with no timidity or kind of falling back on herself, but with audacity and a sense of history. My personal opinion there is they've probably already spoken about this. It's not.
I imagine they have.
It's not like she's going to just learn all this from his speech at the Sorbonne.
Well blocked out, hasn't it?
I'm sure it has. And
nothing spontaneous politically, is it?
This is interesting. This is the Brussels correspondent for Le Monde. She says the one sentence to take away from this, really the takeaway sentence is this: France is taking the absolutely essential risk of taking this initiative. In other words, France is kind of going to get the flack because it's not necessarily popular everywhere. This idea of, you know, turning up the volume on European federalization. So it is a risk, but it's a necessary risk, and France is taking the initiative here. Whereas I suppose maybe Germany has been perhaps leading some of those.
Germany makes
together
all the money. It doesn't want to like give the money in and have that kind of common currency aspect, the sort of proper common currency, do they?
Well, this is France taking that leadership role in Europe. There were criticisms as well. I'm not sure we have time to go through them, but
very quickly, James.
Where is it? Let me see. There were a couple of criticisms. Oh well, there were people.
No.
You know, they were there, not just even online, and others saying, "Oh, this is the same old Brussels for the elites, the multinationals, and the bankers." I just want to throw that in because it's important to say that on Twitter as well, there was also some Europhobia.
James Creedon, balanced as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Great to see you. Thanks to Kate as well. Taxi drones, amazing stuff, isn't it? Thank you for watching. Stay with us. More to come here live from Paris.